How's it going, everybody? It's me, Tootytron, and today we are doing a Tooty topic. We're going to do a 2020 recap, and then what we want for 2021. Now, 2020 was a very long year, and we're going to it's going to be a long video, by the way. I'm going to try and not be lazy and put timestamps in the description below. First, we're going to talk about all of the new tunes that came out and all of the reworks that came out in the year of 2020. Starting off with January. And what we had with January, we had the second Mystic Alien leader, Saint Waka, who to this day is still a really good tune. He's not as prevalent as he was upon release, especially since Lex had just come out before him. But he's still a really, really good leader. He's just what's the word? He doesn't exactly fit the super meta build anymore, just because the speed meta is so prevalent that he kind of fell on the wayside. But he's still great. You can easily make him work if you really wanted to. And then along with him came Daddy, who's one of my favorite characters this year. He is a super tank, just like Barda. He's just a little bit more selfish, but is very, very annoying to fight, very, very fun to use. Doesn't hit all that hard, but is still really fun, and I really enjoy him. Very good, great character. And the reworks for January were Arcus, who I don't really have a whole lot of gear in, I have some rings. I started ringing him out, and then I realized how fucking powerful he was. This is going to be one of the better reworks of the year, unfortunately. In my opinion, they made him a little too powerful. However, that being said, he is slow and squishy, so you can kill him before he takes off, which is okay to me. So I'm okay with this because of the fact that he isn't incredibly unbalanced, right? So yeah, hard hitter, very good rework kit, good rework kit. Jesus, I can't speak today. And then we had Yellow Lantern Sinestro as a rework as well. Now, at the time, I didn't really feel like the rework was that good. It felt like it was just kind of meh. But looking at the current abilities of him, he does feel a lot better now. They changed him to special damage. They made him a lot tankier. They switched up his stuff a little bit, so he's a bit more synergistic with other teams, like stun teams, for instance. He's a bit more synergistic with that. But overall, he is somewhat better than he used to be. He is usable, and I do see him often enough. There is a downside, though. His rework did take away the fact that his basic couldn't miss against taunting characters. Like, he used to be able to purge 10 buffs no matter what if the character was taunting. That is no longer the case. Now let's look into February, where we had two very, very good characters. And at the time, we didn't know how good they were. Black Mask was, I believe, the freebie of the month. This guy is going to be meta for a while, just because he's like an off-lead Constantine, and very, very powerful character at that, just because of his bug that seems to never go away. Anytime he dies, his passive, where if anyone dies on his team, you get covered in debuffs, still happens. So that's unfortunate, but it makes him a phenomenal character. He's also really tanky and has a lot of great utility. So yeah, great character overall. But then, of course, they introduced Cassandra Cain that same month, who was also kind of a badass character. She was bugged upon release as well, just like Black Mask, but hers was underwhelming instead of overwhelming, and a lot of the evasions that she now gains, like crazy amounts of evasions, they weren't stacking when she did get released. So a lot of people just thought that that's how her kit was supposed to be, and they didn't really look into her that much. Like, they didn't really think that she was going to be that good, and then they fixed the bug, and we were like, holy shit, this bitch is incredible. Why have I not touched her? Sadly, to all of our dismay, including WB's, they fixed the bug after her sale ended, so they didn't get all of the money they could have from the Cassandra Cain debut. But now that she's out, now that the bug is fixed, anytime she comes in the shops, it seems like everyone goes buck wild. And then we also reworked Huntress that month as well, and she somehow has become even more of a staple toon than she used to be, even though from this view it looks like she's got some saggy titties just because of the way the white looks. This is saggy, this is perky, you know? Regardless, I don't know. I think I made that joke in her video too, but she hits like a fucking truck, and the execution style passive is actually really useful. A lot of people enjoy using her. She is on a lot of teams these days. So, yeah, and then we also had one more rework in February. Nope, I want Mystic. There we go. Not Energy. Vixen. Vixen was the other rework, and she is also significantly improved to a usable level. She is even better of a Swiss Army knife than she used to be, just because now, it used to be before her rework that you would only use her Rhino ability. It was the only useful one that really mattered. And now every single one of her abilities is useful. Every single one of them. In any situation you have, one of her abilities will do the trick. And I love that about her. Very good character. Very underrated, unfortunately. And then we move in to Le March. We had... I don't want that. We had Hawkman in March. He was the freebie, I believe, and also kind of underutilized character. He is very, very good at what he does. He protects his team. He has self-sustain. He has crowd control. He does a shit ton of damage. Like, very, very good character. I don't understand why he isn't used more often. Kudos to Hawk Guy and the Owls, who brought him to RB5 immediately. He was also waiting for this character for forever. In my opinion, he's kind of like just a green Artemis without the heal immunity. He's a little less tanky, but he has a bit more CC, crowd control, and he deals just as much damage. It's just physical instead of special. So I love this character. I think he's phenomenal. The other new toon that we got in March was... Where's he at? Aqualad. And I love the character model. He looks phenomenal. Very, very good. He's a little bit squishier, and unfortunately, he doesn't deal a lot of damage, like a crazy amount of damage, which, you know, his bleeds help out with that a bit, and his team assist ability is a little lacking. The heals are not there. However, his strengths are that he is very, very fast. Not only that, but he does kind of counter Arcus a little bit in the fact that we passively and actively can turn strength ups into strength downs, which kind of neuters Power Girl, Arcus, Wonder Girl. There's a lot of them out there that he counters. He doesn't do a very good job against people like Azrael, just because Azrael has a lot of... he's got debuff immunity, and he just seems to endlessly get strength ups, and his transformation, unfortunately, just can't keep up. But yeah, what were our reworks for the month? We had Hawk Girl as well for one of our reworks, and she is just as annoying as ever. In fact, she's probably even more annoying, especially since she has a bug too, but her bug is a good bug. And it's because, like, she's not an Azrael level character anyway, even with the bug. Like, she's a little bit better against or with stun characters, so we just kind of ignore it, because we just like her having it, and it makes her a little bit better. So she's also got a lot of crowd control. She's also got a lot of she doesn't necessarily have sustain, but she has turn meter control, she has crit immunity, purging, so there's a lot good in her kit as well. And then we also have Siren, who got reworked for the month. It was a really weird month, honestly. It was like whatchamacallit, air and water, I guess, was the theme of the month. Siren was the other rework. She does seem a little bit better. She hits a bit harder than she did before. She did lose her true damage on her 2, I believe. But they gave her a way to stack evasions better, I believe. And she could technically 1v4 against an entire team as long as you don't hit her. So, very good bleed character. Very good enrager. She's got a little bit of sustain as well. I believe Joker got her to RB5 as well that month. In April, we had Captain Boomerang was the free character. Great art model. I love the art model. It's just like the character in the comics. Character, actually, in my opinion, is much better than we anticipated it being. He must have gotten a hot fix right away just because he didn't hit that hard upon debut, but they must have like stealth buffed him because his damage has increased quite a bit since debut, whatchamacallit, and also, we'll get to this later, but since the Mr. Freeze rework, he's actually proven to be much more useful as well. So, very big damage dealer, first character with empowered strength ups. We have some turn meter control, we got speed downs, we got purging and buff stealing and multiple hits. Very good character overall. And then also we had Heatwave as the siege character. A lot of people think he's like an ugly John Lennon, and that's kind of accurate, no lie. But actually a very underrated character as well. The kit is phenomenal. He is much tankier than also we anticipated. He can take a hit pretty well. He's got team-wide sustain along with debuff, purging, crit immunity, bleeds, heal immunity, turn meter control. He's basically a green Black Adam as far as turn meter gain. Very, very fun character in my opinion. I believe Intro Spacir, I don't know how to say his name, of the Owls, is also trying to get him to RB5. I bet there's other people out there too, though, because this guy's got talent, guys, and he's pretty worth the grind. But that month we had 2 reworks. One was this Mirror Master right here, this big boy, who is also a phenomenal character. Hits very hard now, special damage, a lot of crowd control, pairs perfectly with Clayface, as much as people use Clayface anymore, which, now that M4's team is, picking up some popularity, might be more often. He's also, Clayface is also farmable in Alliance shop at the moment, so, Mirror Master's plenty good. Speed control, and then we had Chemo, who I brought to RB5 because I liked his disease kit, I liked his retaliation, his mends, his control, his bleeds, and he had the first character kit with Doom involved as well, and that was pretty clutch to his kit. He is still a little squishier than I'd like him to be, which is unfortunate, but, he gets the job done. He has that special damage that we all love to see. But yeah, so that is April. That is the month of April. Now we're moving into May, which may or may not have pissed off a lot of us. Well, let's start off with, where's he at? Metallo. He was the freebie character of the month. He's also a physical turn 0 taunter. Kind of squishy, not gonna lie. He does a lot of damage, though. A good chunk of damage. He has a little bit of sustain. AoE purge, which is nice, and a stun, which is nice, but honestly, I don't think he's that great. He needs help in order to survive, either with somebody else giving him crit immunity, or stamina up, or, awareness, shield, etc., etc. Might do really well with Heatwave, honestly. But yeah, so he's a turn 0 taunt with a lot of damage and not a lot of health. And then we go into Parasite, which, if we are being honest, Parasite should have been the turn 0 taunter. Throwing a taunt on Parasite is like a very good tank. With the amount of heals that this guy gets from just being touched, it's pretty incredible. He can take a lot of hits. He's very, very beefy. The only way to really make sure that you can actually kill him is through heal immunity. So bring your Red Hoods, bring your Black Mantas, all that good jazz. Who was our reworks? We had Martian Manhunter that month for our rework. And, alright, we got the Black Lantern skin on, but we're going to change it to our legendary black regular Martian Manhunter skin. Became a much better character with his special damage, his stacking intelligence up buffs, his speed on his leadership. If he didn't have that speed, he probably wouldn't be as useful. But he's still a very, very good character now. He's finally where he should have been upon debut. Very, very good. A lot of good reviews for that rework. the other rework, which nobody liked, and we have the shitty Red Sun skin on right now. We're going to change that back to his basic skin. That looks so much better. Is Superman, and this one is the one. We're going to get rid of that. Oh, we're going to get rid of that. I'm also going to do this. All right, cool. So he is the first character that has 2 skins. He's also the rework of the year that really gave a lot of drama to the world. Very, very poor rework at the beginning. And then the community gathered. We all kind of united and came back at WB and was like, dude, we were begging you for months, if not years, to make him actually good, and you made him worse. So I want you to do something else and do something better. And they came back, and they gave him his damage immunity back. They gave him some other thing real quick. But they made him really, really annoying, which I actually don't mind. He's very, very good at tanking, and the kit fits his persona, which is more important to me than him being a damage dealer. If he were a damage dealer and had the same level of, like, tankiness that he currently has, then he would be overpowered. And I know a lot of you are probably like, well, good, he's Superman, he should be overpowered. But you have to realize that this is a video game, and video games need balance. And I know that there are some characters, Azrael, who are unbalanced completely. And if there are unbalanced characters, they should be part of the most powerful crew. I get it. That's a valid argument. It is. I'm happy with the way it turned out, though, with the fact that he can proc his damage immunity on being hit himself. That is very, very important and quite annoying. It's very, very hard to kill a Superman, unless you have, like, Black Hand or Silver Banshee at this point. Like, those are really the only 2 reliable Superman maybe Vixen too, actually. Those are like the only real reliable Superman killers in the game. But yeah, so that was the month of May. We're going to move into June here. June was one of the most expensive months of them all. We're going to start off with one of the new characters we had, which was Circe. Definite great character. Her AoE purge is one of the fastest in the game, which is super important. Whatchamacallit, her passive revive ability is insane. It's so fucking good. She is like, she doesn't deal a shit ton of damage, which is, you know, how it should be if she has that much utility in her kit, especially since she has like a self-heal. She's got some damage immunity for herself. She's got all this utility, so it's good that she's not like a powerhouse character, which would have probably sent her over the top, but she does have really good debuffing skills. She can kind of power Lex down a bit. The silence and the chance to stun is really nice, especially when AoE stuns everyone. That's really, really hard to deal with when you're on the receiving end of that stun. So, very, very good character. A lot of people love this one. And then we're going to go into the physical character of the month. The first ever physical special damage dealing crit tank, who doesn't have a taunt, which is probably a good thing, but she's got a shit ton of sustain with all of the shield that she gets. She's got a shit ton of damage with all the buffs that she gets. She's got crowd control with a stun and heal immunity to prevent all the revives that Circe brings along. Double attacks, like, there's so much in this girl's kit that she's one of the best characters in the game, honestly. And the cool thing about her, the best thing about her, is that even though she has all this great shit in her kit, she's not overpowered. Like, she is what I feel like should be the level of most character releases. Like, this is the bar that I want character releases to be at. I don't want them higher, and I don't want them much lower. Like, obviously, there's going to be a little bit of a range, but it shouldn't be release Artemis and then release Trash Tier, which is eventually what ended up happening anyway. But yeah, this is a very, very good kit. Very, very good character. And I thought that this was going to be the best physical of the year until they brought out Azrael, which we will get to later. But I'm gonna get salty on that one. I'm not gonna lie. This month also was the debut of the first ever Cheetah rework, which honestly was very needed. There's some things I love about it, some things I hate about it. Um, I wanted her to be able to destroy people, and she can. But I also wanted her to have some sustain a little bit. Like, she's a hunter, right? I wanted her to be either invisible or gain health or like heal herself when upon enemy bleed or something. And they changed her second ability from a high damage attack to a purge attack, and that kind of pulled away for me a little bit. Like, I feel like it should have stayed as the incredibly high damage ability. But the purge has proved useful to me over and over again, so I'm okay with it, I guess, a little bit. The speed on her leadership ability is massively important. She is a lot able to compete with people like Lex, like Martian Manhunter now, because she is faster than both of them. The only problem with her is that she's incredibly squishy, so they kind of had to. I guess that was their choice in like balancing her out, is the fact that they made her easy to kill. So I rebirth 5'd her, so now she's a lot harder to kill, and she hits a lot harder too. So yeah, very very good kit, very very good character in my wholehearted opinion. And then we're gonna move into our female mystical, not Mara wasn't this year. Hippolyta, Queen of the Amazons, living on Themyscira. Whatchamacallit, she's got a lot of team-wide support abilities. She can buff the entire team, she can shield the whole team, she can purge from the whole team, she can give them stun immunity, she can give them turn meter, she can give them strength ups, she can give them int ups, she can call assist, she can double call assist, she can reset all of her cooldowns. Like, she is good. She is fucking good. She hits decently hard. Her leadership leaves you a little bit wanting. However, if you pair her with people like Daddy from January, or maybe Big Barda, then she is even that much more useful, because she provides them with the stamina ups that they need in order to open up their kit a little bit. So yeah, I really like Hippolyta a lot. And then we're going to move into July, the second lantern month of the year, where we have a lot of aliens and shit. So we had Kilowag. Kilowag was the free character of that month, who is kind of pretty useful, actually. Like, I didn't do a 2D tune on him, and I want to, because I kind of wanted DeBoy to do it, and he did do one, but for some reason it got lost in translation, and his computer deleted it on accident, and no one ever got to see it. So it is the missing footage of Kilowog's 2D tune, and that's fine. I will do one eventually for him. He's very good. He's got a very quick turn meter down ability that also has a targeted stun attached to it, which is awesome. He offers empowered strength ups to the team passively and actively, along with shield, and he has a purge. So he has got a lot of good shit in his kit. Once again, though, he is a little squishier than we would like him to be, even though he's got muscles like a fucking daddy. And I'm okay with that. That's fine, too. But yeah, so that is the freebie of July. And then we had the, whatchamacallit. Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. Then we had the Siege character, which was Guy Gardner, who is kind of forgettable. I'm not gonna lie. He has one really, really good passive, which is his crit immunity and damage immunity to the whole team on turn 0, which is fucking awesome. Kind of actually makes it kind of makes Aquaman almost useless, because he can do that off lead. His Enrage kit, though, is a little clunky. Unfortunately, it doesn't deal the damage that I really want it to. He is tanky enough to take some hits, which is nice, especially he's got some shield sustain there, especially if he's enraged. And he offers some pretty good debuffs at the same time. So, I mean, he's a decent character. He's not phenomenal. If he's one of your favorites, then by all means, gear his ass up, because he will be useful to you. He's just not the most useful that he could have been. And that's fine, too. Reworks for the month were Medfill, which we're going to go back here, Medfill. Metal is actually a really, really good rework. Like, really, really good rework. Um, Basically, Lex Light. Like, he offers sustain every turn through shielding. He offers turn meter every turn. Not to the whole team, but to two people specifically, himself and one other, randomly. And that's really awesome to see as well. And you don't have to be a buff character in order to be... What's the word? You don't have to be a buff character to be useful under Medville, like you do kind of have to be under Lex. Now, the cool thing, the not the cool thing, the difficult thing with Medville is actually the fact that it kind of randomizes your team's speed. Like, you kind of always know who's going to go first on your team. Like, okay, this character is my fastest character, so they're going to go first. But once that character goes, and I randomly give turn meter to other people, I don't know who's going next, right? So if you have like a structure in your mind, like, okay, this is my plan, I'm going to open with this character, then this character's going to do this, then this character's going to do this. If you have that plan in the back of your head, Medfield kind of fucks that up. But his kit is very, very good utility-wise. He can actually, like, basically permanently stun an entire character with his massive amounts of speed downs and strength downs. Basically rendering them in a permanent stun, and that is pretty wicked, in my opinion. And then we had, in my opinion, the better rework of that month, which was Jessica Cruz, who I absolutely love now. She deals the damage, she can tank some hits, she has this like awesome taunt that just kind of pops up when people die, which is very off-putting to the enemy team. It's very like, oh shit, now she's taunting, and I have to deal with her ass now. So I think very, very good. She's got AoE attack, AoE shield, a lot of intelligence downs on her basic, so very, very good kit. She's kind of like a green Lobo, if you can think about it like that. She's a green Lobo. And Lobo's good now, by the way. We'll talk about that, because December's coming up, but let's get through the rest of the months. We got August coming up. And oh, shit, I actually hit the wrong button. Alright, August, we had Vandal Savage. He was the freebie character, and guess what? I love Vandal Savage in the comics, in the lore, and everything about Vandal. Vandal's great. Fucking love the guy. They were like, oh, guess what, Tutron? Here's a character that you're gonna love, and guess what? We fucked his kid up. So I was like, guys, why can't you put a character in that I like, that is actually decent upon debut? You know? Like, how hard is that? And apparently it's pretty fucking hard, because I had to, like, tell them how to rework Raish, and they're probably not happy with me saying that. But I did offer my own kit, and they used it to fix Raish, and Raish is so much better now. This is not how I pictured Savage at all. Like, Savage is a warrior, for sure. He's definitely been around long enough to know how to fight. However, I feel like he's more of a, like, in his modern iteration, he's more of a tactician. He's more of a, like, I would have seen Black Mask's kit on Vandal a lot better than Vandal's current kit. So, you know, whatever, it is what it is. I'll have to wait for the rework to come back around, but I wasn't too happy with Vandal. He's a damage-dealing crit character without the damage. He's slow. His immunities don't pop up fast enough. It's just kind of meh. But then the other one that we had was Deadman, who basically looks like the Night King on steroids. I mean, that's cool too. I love Deadman. He's a cool utility character, permanent invisibility that you can't purge off, you can't steal it, you can't do shit about it. Great character, super fun. Cool animations. The call assist is really nice. The buff steal is really nice. He possesses everybody left and right. That's like his whole shtick. But yeah, very, very good utility character. And that was the Siege character for August. And then, of course, we have my favorite of the month, which is Ra's al Ghul, who I Rebirth 5'd as well upon the rework and 6-day event that coincided with it. Ra's is phenomenal. He's a great leader now. His multi-attack ability makes him very hard to deal with, and it spreads disease like a motherfucker. So you better watch out. You better not cry, because Santa's watching. Um, I love him. I love him a lot, and he's great now. I am super in love with this kit. Multi-attack disease. That's really the best way I can describe it. And then we have Solomon Grundy, who was reworked as well that month, and he is now the epitome of what is a turn 0 taunter. Not a single soul can instantly kill him turn 1. Like, we had M4 use his Rebirth 5 Batwoman. So turn 1, she goes first, uses her kick on Grundy. Nothing, no one dies. Grundy's fine. He just shrugs it off. He's a mystic against a physical dealing, critical hit, strength up based character who's supposed to, like, boom pow you and then boom pow someone else into, like, death zone. And he can take that fucking hit. It's great. They basically made a revive character hard to kill. And I love that. He's very good at his job. And he's also hits pretty hard too. So keep that in mind. And we have September. September is one of the months that I don't really care too much about. Hush was our freebie character, who is not a bad character at all. He just got very, very overshadowed, in my opinion. His kit looks like a physical Arcus. However, of course, they saw that Arcus was super overpowered. At least that's what I hope they saw. And they decided not to do that with Hush. They decided to give him decent stats, just not like holy shit stats. And that's fine too. But he does do a very good job with me. He stays overhealed most of the time. He's invisible a lot. His out of turn attack is pretty great. Extended silence is cool. There's a lot good on his kit. I don't think he's a bad character at all. I think he's a B. You know, he's a very good B character, and I think that's right where he needs to be. And I took him to RB5 because he works really well with Ra's al Ghul. And of course we have Azrael, the other piece of shit. This is going to be the tune of the year, guys, unfortunately. He is incredibly good. He is the epitome of overpowered, in my opinion. He's so strong that even before his siege started, I was already calling for a nerf, because I know, and I knew at the time, that his abilities were too much. They were fucking so strong. Unfortunately, I lost that battle. Too many of you were very rude, by the way. Shame on you. Not all of you, but some of you. Very rude. Regardless, lost that battle, so we moved on. Unfortunately, I'm living with regret that I lost, even though I can't really do anything about it. But yeah, he's very, very strong. And I'm not really going to go over it, because you probably all already know. And if you don't know, you will soon, because you're going to fight him in fucking PvP, and you're going to be like, holy shit, guys. Why can't I kill this dude? Another rework of that month was Robin. Loved Robin. Robin's rework, very good. Very fast character. Hard hitter. Hits incredibly hard. Crits all the time. Incredibly fast character. He gets turn meter from his shadow ability. He gets turn meter from enemies dying. He gets invisibility. He gets heals. He smacks like a motherfucker. He's basically a red Etrigan, except better, in my opinion. Because Etrigan doesn't crit all that often, but Robin crits, it feels like every fucking turn. It's insane. And then he also has crit damage up, which is, I think, the first time I've ever seen that on a non-PvE character. Like, I've seen that on the AI teams in PvE. I've never seen that on a player-controlled character. Yeah, phenomenal. Love the kit. Wish he got the 6-day, but instead, we had to deal with this douchebag right here. He got the 6-day, and he kind of sucks still. Like, he was a decent rework, kind of, sort of, not really. He's still incredibly tanky, which is good. He's still anti-taunt, which is good. But he's RNG-based. He doesn't deal a lot of damage. And he's easier to kill because he doesn't have a fuck ton of mens. So, yeah. Bad rework. Bad rework. If they continue this trend with all the DC EU characters, because it looks like there's only one DC EU character that's, in my opinion, still worth a shit, and that is Suicide Squad Deadshot. Like, probably the only one. Alright, so that was September. We're moving on to October now. Which we start off with Miss Martian, who was the freebie character of the month, and she is actually pretty fucking good. Not gonna lie, she hits fucking hard. Like, really hard. She gets permanent intelligence ups. She can call assists. She can purge debuffs. She adds 40% shield to the entire team and gives herself crit immunity at the same time. She has a chance to give everyone 3 strength ups and 3 intelligence ups. She speeds herself up when other people buff. She's a great character, guys. Honestly, I think she's an A. She somehow got placed in the B tier, which is not a bad spot to be in, but I think she's better than that. I really do. I think she is a phenomenal character. And if you just started playing and you had the opportunity to farm her character shards in the month of October, then good on you, because you got a very reasonable character that's going to last you quite a long time. And then we had, of course, a different character that everyone was really, really excited for, but kind of was underwhelming, unfortunately, and that is the Atom. This world's smallest hero. First of all, he came out like looking like an actual human being. Like, I did not expect him to be the size of an actual adult male. Like, what the fuck? If they're gonna make Giganta massive, why didn't they make the Atom small? But whatever. That's just me being a dumbass. Good animations, good character model. Is just bad kit design, bad abilities, you know? I expected the Atom to be like the guy that could penetrate any defense, you know? The guy that could figure it out. The guy that created kryptonite in Superman's DNA. The guy that can literally, like, use the microverse as, like, a telephone and walk through it, basically. That's kind of what I expected the Atom to be. And he is okay, but he's not the greatest, in my opinion. He's not phenomenal, but he's okay. Okay, so then the reworks of the month, we had Gigikins, or Snoo Snoo, or Giganta, whichever you want to call her. We got some booty up in this bitch. No camel toe, and that's fine, but we got the cum gutters. She's got those abs of steel, so watch out for that shit. But great character, or not great, but, you know, she's good at... She is like a wall. She is a physical wall of meat. And once her awarenesses are gone, she's kind of squishy, I'm not gonna lie, but if she gets her buffs off, she becomes very, very tanky. And especially if one of your teammates reaches, like, I think it's 30% HP threshold, she starts gaining stamina ups passively every turn and taunt, and becomes incredibly, incredibly tanky. So you can make her work. She isn't the greatest turn 0 taunter, but she can be decent. She can be decent. And she's also pretty as fuck to look at on your screen. And then we had, who else did we have? Oh, we had Mr. Freeze. So we're gonna go see Mr. Freeze. There he is. And this was actually a very good rework. He gets turn 0 speed downs now, which is actually pretty fucking clutch. It really alters the dynamic of the enemy's comp. Like, those speed downs can keep a very fast character from going first. Like, if you somehow manage to get the speed downs on, like, a Kilowag, or a Castaway Green Arrow, or, you know, X character that's supposed to open up the team fight, but it has 4 speed downs on them, so they're actually much slower than everybody else now, that can change the entire event of a fight. It really can. Not only that, but he's also very tanky, and he hits pretty decently hard, so good character. Very good character. And he also makes Capt Boomerang that much better because of those turn 0 speed downs. That was October. Now we're moving into November. I almost said December. Indigo 1 was the freebie character, and also a character that I will be taking to Rebirth 5 just because she makes my Ra's al Ghul team just that much better. She has the abs of steel that we all like to look at. her kit isn't the greatest, but it also isn't bad either. Like, I feel like she's a solid B. She can hit decently when she wants to. She has some good team-wide support abilities. Her passives are very good at calling assists. She is bugged currently still. WB's apparently working on it, but the transfer 2 debuffs from Indigo to the target is still bugged and does not work. So that's unfortunate. I hope they fix that soon. But yeah, so Indigo 1, support character. Very, very support character-y. And then who else? We had Black Hand, who, like I said earlier, is a good Superman killer, good Arcus killer, good anyone with an immunity and death immunity or damage immunity, like very, very good at that. He deals a lot of damage. He's basically a mystical Larfleeze, and I love that. He can revive himself. He can put an active doom on characters, which I feel like might be bugged because it's supposed to be like an 80% chance to attach, but I feel like it doesn't ever attach unless it's a lantern. Maybe I just have shitty RNG, I'm not sure, but he does hit pretty fucking hard, and he can kill people with immunities on them. And then we have Star Sapphire. Oh, damn it, I hit the wrong button again. Mystical female hero, Star Sapphire. This sloot is phenomenal. She has an AoE buff immunity and also accompanied by strength and intelligence downs. So that's a really powerful move all in and of itself. She can apply crit immunity and mends at the same time to her entire team, including herself. Her heal is very, very powerful now. She can double hit when she's overhealed, and she hits like a fucking truck, guys. She is a little slower than you'd want her to be, but she still can dish it out. She's very good. Very, very good character now. And then we had one of my favorites, and someone that a lot of you hate now, or just still think is trash, and that's Green Lantern John Stewart, who I will be taking RB5 next. He is my next one on the list. As you can see, he's already at number 4. I've got the 1800 fragments. I just need the rebirth crystals, which I have 3 of right now. So, need 7 more. I really like him because of the fact that he's like a turn it around character, you know, like, oh shit, my whole team is half health now, and then he's like, oh, well, let me just step in and win this for you, and he fucking just destroys everyone, and I love it. He is still crowd controllable, he is still, killable in a way, but he does get death immunity, which is nice, and he's very hard to kill at RB5, and RB4 especially, like, you can't just one-shot him anymore. So that's really useful, in my opinion. I still think he does really well. Excuse me. And then we're moving into December. In December, we have Amazo, who also kind of sparked a little bit of drama, because a lot of people didn't like the fact that he was a disease toon. They saw, like, you know, they thought of the Amazo virus, and they were like, let's go with that. And they gave him Disease Kit, which I personally am fine with because I like Disease, and Raish is a Disease character, and I don't know, they just kind of mix well together already. However, I understand that that is not what people wanted from him. They wanted like him to be Amazo. They wanted him to be able to copy abilities or buffs or, you know, stats or something, you know, copy. And he has a little bit of that in his kit, but not enough where people are satisfied. And I feel that. I get that. I still think he's actually a pretty decent character at L5. I don't feel like he's as squishy as I thought he was back at like L2. I saw a post on Reddit where someone said that he looked just like the fawn from Chronicles of Narnia. And I thought that too before he said that, and I was like, I'm glad someone else voiced that and like believes that, because like I thought I was crazy for a bit, but he looks like that fawn. In this outfit, he looks like that fawn, and I love it. I think that's really hilarious that someone else thought that too. But his basic is pretty hard. He's got some crowd control. He's got some good shit in his kit, guys. I believe he has some really good shit. And we have someone who, you know, a lot of people haven't really used yet, But we've seen some gameplay of Red Tornado. This is the Siege character. His Siege isn't over at the time I record this. Whatchamacallit, but I have, like, Burger in the Owls has already gotten him to Rebirth 1, and he is incredible as far as I can tell. Like, very good at crowd controlling the enemy and speed. He speeds the enemy down and he speeds you up at the same time, and he does it in mass quantities. So like it's a major change in speed. The pace is unreal. Whatchamacallit, he's got a lot of utility in his kit. He doesn't deal like massive damage, but he does good damage. So I think he's going to be an A or a B character at a minimum, probably B, but probably an A. Very, very good character so far. I love his kit, love watching him go. Now the reworks for this month, we had Lobo, who I think is the better rework in my opinion. He's actually tanky now. He's got a stun on his AoE. His turn meter control is just a little bit better, and that's really all that changed. But he can take those hits now, and that's really what matters. I think he's a very good character at this point in time, and he's going to be very annoying to deal with going forward. And then, of course, we have... Where's he at? Mr. Grodd. Now, Grodd also got a skin this month for Gorilla Grodd City or whatever. And, you know, it doesn't look bad. It actually looks kind of good, in my opinion. It looks much better than his current legendary. I love his basic skin, though. I prefer this one over both of them. Good crowd control character. He's got some stun in his kit. He's got a lot of buffs, like a shit ton of buffs. Deals special damage. Speeds you up. So, like... Oh, and also his death immunity. His it's kind of like Brainiac damage immunity, but it's death immunity. And he doesn't have to be in the leader slot in order to use it, so... You don't die from Wonder Girl whips. You don't die from retaliations, which is nice while he's on your team. So just keep that in mind. It probably brings him up to a B or an A as well. I don't think he deals all the damage, but he's good. He's good. He's just not great, in my opinion. But yeah, so those are all the characters of 2020. All the reworks, all of the new characters. We had some other stuff go down too, though. We got ads. So if we come back to the main page, we have all these little shiny ads in Tapjoy. And, you know, I don't know how much of a benefit WB gets from this, because a lot of whales like me kind of drew back, because now we're using the ads to kind of flow our gem flow. But I feel like they're also getting a lot more ad revenue from people who are free to play. They use the ads, get a little gems, and then WB pockets something as well. Excuse me. So I feel like this is an overall good thing for the game, in my opinion, especially for my pocketbook. I love having Tapjoy. We got Superboy Prime for the raids. That was a good addition, even though he only had one animation, but he wasn't Scarecrow. He's not Scarecrow hard, so I'm good with that. We hit the 140 character milestone. So if we go in the roster and we put the filter back to normal and we just fucking scroll, we have over 140 characters at this point. Like, there is some serious work put into this game. Serious work. I'm still scrolling. So many scrolls. We're almost there, and we're at the end. There's like 140 characters. That's impressive. And I did put out a video with the first 140 characters animations on YouTube. Look it up. It's alphabetized, which is really nice. There's 4 videos, because otherwise it would be an hour fucking long. Yeah, they're all about like 11 to 15 minutes, depending on how long the animations were and how many animations existed. But very, very cool milestone to hit. And then we kind of raised the bar a little bit when it came to reworks and new characters popping out. We raised it and we lowered it at the same time, because, you know, Azrael came out, Artemis came out, Circe came out, and then Vandal Savage came out, you know, and it was just like, wow, what a slap in the face. But, yeah, so we raised the bar on new character reworks of the month. So let's get into what I want to see in 2021. Alright, Alright, let's talk about 2021 and what we want and what we kind of expect to happen. Now, we're going to start off with the thing that we all know is coming no matter what. And sorry if my voice is a little different. I put a cough drop in. My throat's getting a little sore right now from talking so damn much. But yeah, let's talk about reworks first, because we know reworks are coming. They're on their way. And I hope to God they're fucking good. Honestly, I fucking hope they do. Excuse me. Now, I filled all 6 of these pages with characters that I would like reworked in 2021. If you think about it, there's 12 months in a year, 2 reworks every month. That's 24 reworks, and 6 times 4 is 24. So these are the 24 characters that I would like reworked this year in 2021. Starting off with Mr. Freddy, of course, one of my favorite characters in the game. I love his retaliation. I love his heal and buff immunities. I wish they were guaranteed, and I wish that he got rid of his affinity ups and downs. Those are absolutely fucking useless in this game. He has one of my favorite kits in the game, so I'd like to keep that as much as possible. He's a little squishy, but I think with a little bit of sustain, he'd be good. Very fun character, love him a lot. Stargirl, I feel like should be reworked to be an anti-Azrael, or anti-Power Girl, anti-Arcus. Like, she needs to be the anti-Strength Up character, and she has that a little bit, but it doesn't do it. It doesn't do it enough. It doesn't do it good enough. So I need it to be like 10 times better. And maybe make her a little less squishy, you know? Just a little bit less. And that's fine. And then we got Jay Garrick, who is decent. You know, he has a role. I like to use him on Cheetah teams so that he can actually go before her, clear off all the awarenesses from a Martian Manhunter team, and then let Cheetah go in for a kill on either Martian Manhunter or Arcus or whatever squishy green is on that team. But currently, he's a tanky speedster, which, you know, they can keep that as long as they give him more utility. He has some utility, but it doesn't feel like he has any utility right now. And he needs more utility. If he's going to be useful to anyone, he needs to be better and more, in my opinion. I like his built-in accuracy. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, give him a passive that allows him to either, 1, gain a fuck ton more turns, and do something utility-based every turn. That would be nice. Or just amplify the shit out of his turn meter steal ability. That would be cool too. Mr. Miracle, great kit. I feel like he has a good kit. It's just that he doesn't have the stats to back it up. You know, he's squishy. He doesn't deal a lot of damage. And, you know, that's about it. You know, it's why bring him if he can't do anything. If you want to make him a utility character, make him a utility character that can do something. The debuffs are okay, but he doesn't really... Like, there's not a whole lot of debuff teams out there, except for, like, Black Mask. His revive chance sucks, you know. His benefit to reviving is garbage. Like, just make him... There's so many... You could literally do anything to him and make him better. Like, just sneeze on him, WB, with your goodness and stats. Okay, so then this page... Black Manta, I feel like, has been power crept. Like, he's a good kit. He's got a great kit. He just has been so power crept that, 1, he's a squishy motherfucker. 1 punch from anyone and he's dead. I love his amount of bleeds. I love his double attack. I love his AoE. I love his laser beam eyeballs. Everything about his kit, I absolutely love it. If we just amplified it a little bit, you know, gave it a little bit of zhuzh and a zhazh, I'd be happy. And then Dr. Fate, I would like to do to Dr. Fate what they did to Joker Crown Prince of Crime. I would like them to mix the original kit with his current kit and make him an ultimate combination of the two in the most badass and epic way possible, because he is really good. He can be really, really good. He just needs to be better. Like, his out-of-turn attack chance is so incredibly low. His speed, very slow. He does have a lot of shield. He can give himself intups, which is nice. His basic does hit very, very hard, and I love that about him. He's a good character. He just isn't good enough. You know, with all, like I said, the bar has been raised on these reworks and these new characters, and Dr. Fate just doesn't make that cut anymore. And then we move into Raven, who's got this really cool out of turn attack with the crows and the silence, and I love that. I absolutely love that. And her heal is phenomenal too. It's just that she is so squishy and slow, and that's all she is. She's squishy and slow. She doesn't deal a lot of damage. She's just there for the heal and the out of turn attack, and that's it. I love Terra. Terra's cool with the can't miss, the heal immunity, the meltdown. Love all of that, but she's squishy as fuck. She can't survive in the current meta. Her meltdown doesn't deal a lot of damage. You know, she's been power crept, and she's been outmaneuvered a little bit by some other kits out there in the wild. So she would do so much better with a rework as well. Like, take Terra and Deathstroke, rework them both the same year. That would be sick. And then we have Black Lightning, who I think could be such a good counter. Not necessarily a counter, but he could aid in the countering of the speed meta, right? Like, change his passive 25% true heal to a... because you get that heal at the beginning of your turn, right? But you kind of only get that heal if you get your turn. So up against Castaway Green Arrow or any other speed meta turn meter team, that passive is lackluster, because what if they never get their turn before they die? Like, I want that passive to turn into a 15% true heal that happens at the end of every enemy turn to your weakest or lowest health ally. So whoever has the lowest health on your team at the end of every enemy turn should get a 15% true heal. And I feel like that would help counter the speed meta a little bit by keeping your lowest characters a little bit more alive every turn. And then we have Kid Flash. Excuse me. Kid Flash, I think, is really fun, really good. He's got that AoE turn meter down ability with 130 speed, and that's an incredible AoE and very useful ability. However, his passives are so fucking gated, it's insane. Like, they almost don't really do anything. The heal is minuscule at most. The turn meter's nice, but, like, you have to have this happen, then this happen, then this happen, all in the same order in order for him to actually utilize his passives. So let's tear down the gate on those passives. Let's make them more interesting. Let's give him a little bit more intelligence to increase those heals a little bit, and make him a better character. Then we have Batman Beyond, who has a great kit as well. He's a pretty phenomenal kit, not gonna lie. However, he's been power crept just like all the other characters that were released like 2+ years ago. So bring him his stats up a little bit, you know, give him a little zhuzh, you know, new legendary here or there. I don't know. Keep the hit chance downs. Love the hit chance downs. Let's absolutely fucking keep that shit. Then we got Riddler, who is very useful as far as debuffing goes. He's got some raid utility, which is nice. However, no one's bringing him to PvP. No one. I don't see a single Riddler anywhere. Look at those sexy abs. You can't get those if you're sitting at home on the computer like me, developing your muffin top, you know. Give him some muscle. Give him some damage, guys. Also, his third ability or something, whichever one you put a taunt on, is kind of dumb. Like, you put the legendary point on it where it gives him true sight, but you want that true sight before you use the taunt ability so that you could put a taunt on someone who doesn't have one. You know? If there's a taunt on the enemy team and you need true sight, you have to put a taunt on the taunter? It doesn't make any sense. If you know what his kit looks like, you probably can follow that little tangent I just went on. But if you don't know anything about his kit, then you're probably lost as fuck. Moving on. Number 4. We got Dr. Poison, who, after disease popped out of the developer's mind, that little love child, we all thought Dr. Poison would get a rework. Never fucking came. We were like, I mean, she got one already, but it wasn't, like, phenomenal. And she's still squishy, and whatchamacallit, we just want her to change it into the ultimate disease character, and I think that would be very fitting for who Dr. Poison is. And then of course Blue Beetle, who has been absolutely garbage since his debut. Never has he been a good character. He got his rework and it sucked. So give him some love, WB. Make him the actual shield counter that we need. Then we got Wonder Woman Coda, who honestly has a fuck ton of potential. Like, a fuck ton of it. She could be the blue power girl, in my opinion. The countering, amazing. The AoE can't miss retaliation, holy shit, that's hot. Like, give that to her. Make it more than a 20% proc rate. Like, give her the actual damage that you want to see. Make her the Lex counter that I want so badly, you know? Because if she retaliates with an AoE that can't miss, she would slaughter the shit out of Lex. Like, slaughter him. Fucking love that. You gave Coda that kit, we would stop seeing Lex teams. And I would absolutely relish the thought of that. She's probably one of the most important reworks, I feel like, that could come in 2021. Then we have Zatanna, who Mr. Zubaz, former owl, potentially in the future might be an owl again, but we'll see, has a very good kit idea for her. I like my own personal idea, which is to kind of transform buffs into their opposite debuffs. However, that obviously has some coding issues. I know that they did it for strength and men's. They did it for men's as well, but I don't know. I feel like that's a fun idea, but she does need a little love. She deals somewhat damage, but she doesn't have any speed. Her heal is good, but it's not phenomenal anymore. You know, if Lex is out there, why use Zatanna? You know, she just needs a little bit of a boost, a little perk. Give her a whole zhuzh up. Oh, I put Riddler in here twice. Weird. Didn't mean to do that. Let's get rid of him. DOJ, phenomenal character. Could have a lot more potential as well, but right now she gets slaughtered by all the Reds. So we need to give her some protection in order to withstand that. We need to make her an actual tank out there. And then, of course, Deathstroke, we can bring him back to his glory days because, whatchamacallit, there's so many characters out there that can actually neuter him no matter what anyway, so might as well, right? Might as well just bring him back. Fucking Vandal Savage, let's throw him in there. Fucking rework him anyway. I know it's within a year that he's been released, but just do it. For my sake. And then Enchantress, who I actually think has a lot of potential as well. Like, she could be just as good as Lex is. She could have a leadership that starts her entire team fully overhealed, and that would be fucking badass. Excuse me. If that's all she gave the team, and her leadership didn't do anything else, that would still be more than enough. You know, there's so many characters out there that could start off the bat rolling. Like, think of Stripe, think of Bane, think of Etrigan, think of Swamp Thing. Think of how hard it would be to one-shot kill anyone on your team. Barda, you know, like, oh god, I can't even think about it. Like, she has such a good potential kit that I really hope they do a lot with that. And then we have Nightwing, who got a rework, but it sucks. And then we have Captain Cold, who has yet to get a rework, and there's a lot of people that love that guy. Like, there's an Owl OC3, I think, loves that guy. He could probably use a pretty good rework. Crowd control, purging, speed downs. Like, he's already got the kit. He just needs the damage. He needs the stat boost. If they took his leadership and made it a passive, that would make him very powerful. And we have Two-Face, who all they have to do to fix Two-Face is, one, bring his stats up to the current par, and then two, make it so that it's not 50% to do this or 50% to do nothing. It should be 50% to do this or 50% to do that. There should be something that happens every time his passive proc. It's just a 50-50 chance on what happens, right? It should not be 50 this or 50 nothing. That's my opinion. That was someone in the Owls told me, and I was like, that really resonated with me, and I think that was really smart. And then obviously, Rider of the King Tide, Aquaman, who just never got any love. Like, after Aquaman 1 came out, he never got his golden armor skin, his rework. He was supposed to get reworked that month, and like everyone thought he was going to be the Aquaman rework for the Aquaman movie that dropped, but it was the other Aquaman. It was the wrong Aquaman, the one that no one actually thought needed a rework. So he needs something. He needs some love. All of his abilities do the exact same thing, and it's like, why? Why would I use anything except for my basic if all of them do the same thing? So, yeah, that is my rework wants for 2021. Let's see. Alright, so now we're going to look at the campaign, right? Everybody wants new campaign nodes. And here's the thing with campaign. People like Zatanna here. People like Green Arrow here. These two have like 7 different nodes. Like, if I go to, or even Yellow Lantern Sinestro. I know for a fact Yellow Lantern Sinestro has 7 nodes because I farm him every fucking day. Like, I'm trying to get him RB5. And I'm farming him from all 7 nodes. He's got 1 in 8. He's got 1 in 7. Right here. He's got 1 in 6. Right here. He's got 1 in 5. Right here. And I could go on. The only one he doesn't have one is in number 2. He does not have one in chapter 2. That's fine. But there's 7 different characters that have 7 different nodes. And we could super easily diversify the amount of characters that you could farm if they just gave each character 1 node. You know? There would be so many more farmable characters in the game. Not only that, but we need some PvE content that actually challenges us, that makes us like, holy shit, that was hard. Like, I need to bring my RP5 characters in order to beat this. And even then, I have some trouble. Just like the anniversary event. The anniversary event that happened in November was phenomenal. Everyone loved it, except for people who didn't have the roster to complete it. And I get that. It was advertised wrongly, poorly, whatever. But now that we know what that event is capable of and what is, like, what you need in order to beat it, let's make it an every month thing. Let's make it an all month thing, except for, like, make it so that it takes all month to complete that fucking challenge. Like, make it so that, like, maybe there's bonus characters that you have to have if you want to beat it, because if not, you can't survive. Shit like that. Or, I don't know, just something strong, hard, powerful that isn't red alerts. I'm so sick of red alerts already. I know they just updated it, and they made it more enticing, but it's still not worth my time, in my opinion. This campaign mode could use some extra chapters, you know? Like, I think if you go to normal, and you finish this node, or if you go to heroic and you finish this node, it's like, more coming soon. It's been like that for 4 years, guys. Let's add chapter 9, chapter 10 while we're at it. Let's put more nodes in that we can farm more characters in. Let's see, what else do I got? I have some notes here, I'm looking at them. I feel like that's all I got, guys. Improved ads are awesome. Maybe let's get rid of the Scarecrow raid. Let's maybe get rid of just how insane raids are in general. Make those a little easier, a little bit less time consuming, a little cheaper. I want more rebirth crystals. Holy shit. Let me show you something. So I want, let's see, I want to finish John Stewart. That's 10 right off the bat. I need 40 more to complete Indigo. It takes me 2.5 months to get 40. I'd like to get Suicide Squad Deadshot to RB4. I'd like to get Ravager to RB3. I'd like to get Eclipso to RB3. I'd like to get Freddy to RB3. I'd like to get Penguin to RB3. I'd like to get fucking Stargirl to RB5. I'd like to get Amazo to RB1. I'd like to get Scarecrow RB3, Daddy RB2, Ultraman RB2, Barda RB1, Grundy RB3. You know, my point goes on and on and on. I've got so many characters. so many fucking characters that I want to rebirth. And I don't want to pay $200 a month in order to get one fucking rebirth. Like, make it easier on me and everyone else who wants to rebirth characters to get those fucking fancy-ass golden borders. That is my biggest want of 2021. And if we made those anniversary events more common, once a month thing, that would be very, very useful for me and others who would like to get more rebirths taken care of and done. So, WB, if you're watching, that's the one thing I want you to pull away from this is, one, let's raise the bar on our reworks, and two, or not raise the bar, actually. If you keep doing Azraels, we're going to have a problem, but no more Vandal Savages, please. And then let's also throw out some more rebirth crystals and PvE content. Those are the big things. If you take anything from this video, take those three things. That's all I want. But yeah, so like, if you guys had different thoughts, or if you had better thoughts, how you could change my thoughts and make them better, let me know. Leave them in the comments. That is my wants and needs and my recap for 2020 and 2021. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, then I worked so hard on this, guys. But yeah, leave me a like or subscribe if you enjoyed my stuff. So, thanks, guys.